In all fictional universes, there is one day to several months that are devoted to, and is always full of, unexplained events, supernatural encounters, and horror. This event is known by the names of Halloween, Samhain Eve, or All Hallows Eve. Battletech is no exception to this rule. This universe has been filled with ghost stories, legends, conspiracies, unexplained events, and stories of supernatural encounters. In this video, we will be discussing some of the known and lesser known spooky tales and atmospheric events revolving around the fall Halloween season. All of the stories contained in this video will be a mix pulled from official sources and homebrew unofficial sources. So sit back with your spooky beverage of choice and enjoy this horrifying holovid presentation. We will begin with the most famous of these stories, the story of the Black Marauder, or as it's alternatively called, the Dark One. This mech is linked to a series of strange events and lethal accidents. It also seems to have a negative psychological effect on its pilot. No one knows the origin of the Black Marauder. On the surface, it looks like a Marauder 3R that you would find anywhere in the inner sphere. It has no factory markings. It does not even have a serial number. Pilots commenting on sightings of this mech have always made consistent claims that the Black Marauder looks wrong. Its proportions are not quite right, and its presence always seems to grow larger when it is obscured by darkness, smoke, or fog. In instances where it is sighted in these environments, it always seems to perform noticeably better. In other sightings, this mech has almost always inconclusively described to move in ways that are impossible for a Marauder, or any other mech for that matter, including one tail, where it is said to move its head by bending its snout and revealing large rows of serrated teeth. Some of the stories of people in direct contact with this mech have been unsettling, to say the least. One instance, a tech died from an accidental and seemingly impossible weapons discharge. Another story involves a Mechwarrior vanishing under mysterious and frightening circumstances while piloting the mech. The Black Marauder is seen as cursed and no one wanted to pilot it. One of the men that was not afraid of the Marauder was a man named Kevin Langstrom, who later in life would become the pirate named Black Kevin of Tortuga Prime, who would later turn the Marauder into an instrument of terror throughout the Word of Blake War in the 3070s. According to legend, Black Kevin would then turn and use the Marauder on a rival pirate lord by the name of Revanian. When Black Kevin confronted Revanian in his palace, he arrived on foot, with the Black Marauder following him under its own power, unmanned, with its cockpit open. The Marauder followed Kevin as if it was some highly trained bodyguard, or an obedient pet. At the conclusion of the Word of Blake War in 3081, both Black Kevin and the Marauder vanished without a trace. Before his disappearance, Black Kevin always spoke in vague terms about finding some unspecified beyond. After obtaining star maps that he had previously seized from a library, he had taken an almost unnatural obsession with studying these star maps. During the early Dark Ages, legends and stories of the Dark One grew that it now walked without a pilot and drained the souls of those who would venture too close to it. The last alleged sighting of the Black Marauder was approximately 3 jumps from the planet Malasha, garbled Battle room footage showed a jet Black Marauder shrouded in what appeared to be ECM and smoke. The footage showed a Black Marauder effortlessly slaughtering an entire Raven Alliance star consisting of 2 Vipers and 3 Summoners. The unnamed Star Commander Summoner was later found by a Raven Alliance recovery team, upright, armless, with an empty cockpit sealed from the inside. Word of Blake's war has started to consume the Inner Sphere in 3072. The Capellan world of Necromo has suddenly gone silent. An elite mercenary unit with a reputation for handling top-secret missions were sent to investigate why Necromo, one of the Capellan Confederation's shipyard worlds, had gone silent. The mercenary unit's main objective was to investigate a site called Outpost Aberdeen. They were not aware that a second group called the Charmed Life under the command of Duncan Stepanov had been sent there before them, but never returned. Upon reaching Necromo's surface, it was discovered that the planet had been wiped out completely by the Word of Blake using nuclear weapons and meteor impacts. To make matters worse, it had been discovered that a bioweapon had also been released on Necromo's surface. The bioweapon had been discovered to destroy the higher brain functions of its victims. The victims had turned into zombie-like creatures that would attack others with rapid frenzy. Most of the population surrounding Outpost Aberdeen had succumbed to the bioweapon and had been turned. Victims of the bioweapon would attack the mercenary unit with animalistic frenzy, including the Protomen pilots still in their cockpit. On the way to Outpost Aberdeen, the mercenaries were approached by a small group of Monae Domini who happened to be stranded on Necromo. The Monae Domini's leader suggested a truce and even cooperation to escape off-world. A truce was agreed upon, and the Word of Blake elite troopers and the mercenary company both agreed that the best course of action would be to escape the planet. As both groups made their way back to the nearest functional dropship, this is where this tale turns for the worst and it all goes to hell. Both groups had received a very strangely edited and garbled message from Captain Stepanov that shockingly returned from the dead. In reality, it was not Captain Stepanov at all, but a poorly functioning and damaged AI that would call itself the Broken. The Broken was based off of Starleap Casper technology that had not seen use in the Inner Sphere for over 400 years. Casper technology was designed to control drone battle mechs remotely. This AI was the purpose of Outpost Aberdeen and what the Capellans were constructing as a prototype. These somewhat deranged AI's only goal is to save itself and get off planet. And the AI will ruthlessly kill to achieve its goal of escaping. And this is where my reports about this event become incomplete, because it is not known if the mercenary unit, the Word of Blake forces, or the AI escaped from Necromo. The story of the Four Horsemen dates back to antiquity on Terra with the Book of Revelation from the Bible. It is said from John's disturbing vision that with the breaking of the first 4 of 7 seals, that 4 unknown beings are summoned and ride out on white, red, black, and pale-colored horses. And throughout history, the Four Horsemen are interpreted as harbingers of the Last Judgment, bringing the end times of the world. But throughout the 159-year duration of the Third Succession War, from its start in 2866 to 3025, alleged sightings of 4 assault mechs painted white, red, black, and pale had a tendency to show up unexpected during intense battles. These mechs seemingly came out of nowhere all over the Inner Sphere. They would annihilate both armies on either side of the conflict without an ounce of mercy. They would then leave without a trace that they were even there to begin with. Some commanders would say that it is merely an unknown land-sized mercenary unit preying on people's fear of the unknown by using the paint colors on the mech as a pathetic bush league psyop. Others claim that they really are the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse and merely got with the times and geared themselves out using Star League assault mechs and are riding around in them wreaking havoc instead of using mere horses. There are 5 consistent clues that are in all reports dating back to the first alleged sighting of these mechs. The first clue is that the assault mechs cited are all using Star League era variants, weapons, and equipment, all considered lost tech by the Third Succession War. The second clue: the confirmed assault mechs always allegedly seen are the following: an Atlas 7D that is painted with pale colors, making it look like a mechanical evil spirit, and its skull cockpit glass seems to grow a frightful shade of blue. A red Cyclops 10Z, making it look like it is covered head to toe in the blood of its defeated foes. A pitch black painted Thug 11EB Royal variant, which by the time of the early 2900s was all but extinct from the inner sphere. One point of note in this report is that the pilot of this Thug is noted to seemingly enjoy consistently ambushing its victims from behind or the side before their destruction. The reports on the fourth mech are both interesting and troublesome. People have claimed that they have seen a Nightstar 9J painted bone white, shooting mechs' cockpits with its dual Gauss rifles at record ranges. During the Third Succession War, the only known user of Nightstar mechs was Comstar. Comstar is known for painting its units white, and it has been speculated that this mech is a Comstar-owned mech. The third clue is that whenever these mechs arrive on the battlefield, an unknown and unmarked jet black Confederate-class dropship can be also seen and is not far behind the mechs. The Confederate-class dropship is all but extinct by the early 2900s, and variants of it would not be seen again in the inner sphere until the start of the Klan invasion in 3050. The fourth clue is that all attempts of communication with this group of four mechs is always met with either total eerie silence or claims of hearing sinister and disturbing sounding static with consistent rhythmic droning over the comms channels. The fifth and final clue: all attempts to attack and destroy these mechs is met with utter failure. All attacks either seem to miss the four mechs or pass completely through them as if they weren't even there. Commanders have claimed to try and justify the failures as found lost tech. Since finding lost tech during the Third Succession War was like winning the lottery, you never know who might just have a complete and utter advantageous edge on you. Stories and alleged sightings of the Four Horsemen mechs have all since but died down by the time of the Klan invasion started in 3050. By the time of the Ill Klan era in 3151, alleged sightings, stories, and encounters of these mechs have become exceedingly rare, but do still happen from time to time, though not as frequently as in the Third Succession War. Could the Four Horsemen arrive in your battlefields unannounced? Who knows? The inner sphere over the years is filled with all kinds of ominous and unexplainable things. I would like to thank all of you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Content, even though it is slow for me, it is still steadily being done, and I got more on the way. So if you like this content and would like to see more of it and would consider helping out the channel and helping me grow and do all kinds of stuff, please consider subscribing, liking the video, commenting, and I will see you in the next video.